Well, welcome. My name is Brent Gove. I'm excited to be here. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about the eXp story, the background, what it's all about. But before I dive into what everyone's all excited about and why this room is packed and why this is happening across North America, I'm going to give you a kind of a brief background on me. I promise to be brief. But, I started real estate 22 years ago. I was 30 years old. Little quick math, I'm 52. Spent my first 12 years at RE/MAX, loved it. Keller Williams started working on me in 2000. By 2009, I was really open-minded to something different, right? Was anybody open-minded in the middle of the crash to something different, like selling popsicles or delivering pizzas not that things had gotten that bad that I had to consider Keller Williams, but I went on to become a team leader for them. They said I could keep my team and they'd pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that sounded kind of good in 2009. So I did that. I worked for Keller Williams for 8 years. Loved it even more. I know RE/MAX, this is the worst idea. Keller Williams, it's a terrible idea. They were wrong. For me, just my story, it was night and day difference. It was way better. And so here I was at Keller Williams. Fast forward a year and a half ago, we're doing our 100+ million a year. I think we did 118 million last year. We'll probably do 125 million this year. And I'm happy, not going anywhere, never ever leaving Keller Williams. What could possibly be better? I get a call from a friend of mine, Sheila Fairgeron, out of Dallas, and she says, "Hey Brent, how are you? Good." She goes, "Hey, real quick, have you heard of this new brokerage that's just setting North America on fire, eXp?" I'm like, "Nope." And I immediately thought, there's no broker. If I haven't heard of it, right? I mean, really? And so, not that I'm a big deal, but if they were setting North America on fire, I would have heard about it. And so she said, well, I want to send you a short webinar that brilliantly explains what it's all about. And she was polite and professional, so I was polite and professional back, like many of you who came to this lunch. Okay, I'll come to the lunch and see what all this eXp craziness is about. And I watched this, knowing one thing, that I knew that I would not be interested, but I was going to pat her on the head, send her back to Dallas and say, have fun with the eXp thing. I'm at the greatest company on earth, Keller Williams. And so I wasn't kind of happy. I didn't tolerate Keller Williams. I could say I was in love with Keller Williams. So I watched this. 45 minutes later, I walk out of my office, my corner office at Keller Williams, the big one. I built out the whole building 5 times the size of this, and I ran the whole thing. And I got my hand on my head. I thought, oh my gosh. For 22 years, I told people, buy a house. Don't rent a house for 20 or 30 years and be left with nothing. Buy a house. Have some equity. Have something to show for it after your whole life. Right? Didn't we do that? And then what do? We work for RE/MAX. We work for Century 21 and Better Homes and Keller Williams, a great company, but we work for other people's companies. Dave Liniger owned RE/MAX. Nobody owns RE/MAX. He became a billionaire. Gary Keller owns Keller Williams. Nobody owns it. The people in little franchises trying to make a profit, but the agents, we just sold our tails off. And so this way that eXp achieved agent ownership, I'm going to explain that today. A rising tide rises all ships. So here is the brainchild, the genius, the Gary Keller of eXp, the Dave Liniger of eXp. And his name is Glenn Sanford. He's our founder and CEO. Glenn was on an inner group, an inner circle of people that mastermind with Keller Williams, and he was a real core group for Keller Williams on technology in the future. He's got a background with Microsoft and Bill Gates out of Washington, Bellingham, Washington. He was a stockbroker, and his unique background. By 2009, he saw the problem with most big companies were their giant leases, right? Anybody have a big office in the crash? And when your monthly lease is 50, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 a month just to pay for the building, and all, it's a ball and chain. So he, because he's a tech guy, goes, what if we built like the Uber of real estate, the Amazon, the Netflix of real estate, the Airbnb of real estate, the Google, used a tech company. So he comes up with this whole idea of eXp. Well, fast forward, how did it work? He came up with 4 pillars. Number 1 is education. Because we were kind of birthed out of Keller Williams, we're a bit like educational snobs, right? We love to sharpen the axe. And so we have 5 to 10 classes a day in the cloud. I'll talk about that. There's 4 pillars. Number 2, lead generation. I was at Remax for 20 years and Keller Williams for, 12 and Keller Williams for 8. Never got a lead from either company. At eXp, because we're not paying for I love this building. We're not paying for the brick and mortar, okay? We actually help with lead generation. We can start getting 100, 200 leads a month to every agent's phone, and I'll talk about how we achieve that. Number 3 is 5 different stock awards. You're gonna actually acquire stock for doing things you're already doing. My first 18 months, I've been here 18 months ago, I was sitting alone in my office looking at that. And since then, I've acquired 34,000 shares. Compared to 20 years of nothing, okay? So I love the stock awards. I've done a lot for this company and they brought me in. They will do the same for you. All the same awards I got, you can get. And finally, number 4, they share the revenue. Because they're not paying for the building to heat and cool, insure, fill it with computers and staff. Like, well, don't we need these things? Of course we do. And we have an agreement with Regis Corporate Suites. Many of us already have offices. I had to move out of Keller Williams. I had 3 for my team of 18 agents, 12 buyer specialists and 6 listing specialists. We all moved out. And a year later, we're all there, 0 attrition. Everyone's getting paid, everyone's getting revenue share and stock awards, they love it. So those are the 4 pillars. Again, training, leads, stock awards, and revenue share. So let's dive into it. Let's get into it. Because we're in a cloud environment, eXp we have no desk fees. There's no building to pay for. We can work from anywhere, anytime at the click of a button. We cut back on the overhead of brick and mortar costs, and we invest in support and technology and lead generation of the agent. You go to the office and go to classes, and I used to teach them for classes like this at MyKW, as big as this room, not this room, but about the size of this, packed out, and we talk about how to get leads, and people would take copious notes and they'd leave and do nothing. At eXp, we're gonna turn your phone on and just go bam, 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 and we will increase your productivity and we'll show you how we do it. Live training, what do you mean live? Well, there's our campus, it's avatars. You think, no way. Let me talk to you about technology. Do you think technology is gonna get bigger or smaller in our lifetime? The millennials are into what? Technology. I have 6 kids. If I talk to my 14-year-old, he immediately Googles it or goes to his phone or does whatever, right? And we are the cutting edge. What do you mean by that? Well, we have over 200 full-time staff in there. You can go into accounting. You can go into agent services like a concierge. Yes, we have agent services. And there's like 18 people in there waiting hand and foot when you walk in, they greet you. Brokerage services, human resources, marketing department, technology department. They're like the geek squad. They all have glasses. You go, how do you help agents at eXp? Well, essentially, you break it, we fix it. We take over your laptop, fix it, give it back to you. It is so cool. So when you go in here, last Monday, I actually taught a class in the RE Tech Auditorium. There were about 100 people there, which it looked very similar to that. And I sat at the front of the class. I've sold over 4,000 homes with my team in the last 22 years. And I taught them about real estate. They're taking notes. They can raise their hands, ask questions, got everyone's names. And it is the coolest thing. You forget you're in a virtual environment in about 5 seconds. It sounds like this, looks like that. The information's the same. Luxury marketing. How to build a team, how to hire your first assistant, SEO, farming, every topic you can think of. Now, let's talk about lead generation. How do we do it? Well, you ever wonder how people sell 100 homes a year, 300 homes a year, 900 homes a year? I know people who sell 1,800 homes a year, 900 homes a year. They do it with tools that are like bulldozers. Agents have spades, like gardening, right? They have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 clients. That's like spades. How would you like to have some bulldozer products? And you think, well, Brent, I don't want to sell 300 homes a year. How'd you like to just sell 30 and pick and choose your clients? To have so many clients, you pick and choose your clients. How would you like to be able to say, no, thank you, and then have more choices? Agents don't have enough choices, and so we're gonna teach you how to do that. Now, conversion through KV Core is $1,000 to get on the open market and $600 a month, and you will spend about $6,000 your first year with KV Core. You can all go get it right now. You don't have to be with eXp. Now, eXp went to these companies and signed a contract with them and a deal. They took 10,000 of those platforms. When you order 10,000 of anything, you get what's called economies of scale discount, right? Now you go get one, you're paying $19,000. Try to negotiate with them, they won't budge. So I don't know what eXp pays for these platforms, but they make them available to every eXp agent for $50 a month. Our technology fee is $50 a month. Now what you get for that is SkySlope. If you're familiar with SkySlope, you get conversion and you get a Regis Corporate Suite membership, which is worth a ton of money. And there are thousands of Regises around the country. There's other companies that compete with them, but we can go into any Regis, use their internet, their Wi-Fi, their drink the coffee, the tea, meet with clients in their conference rooms, copy, scan. You know what you pay for that? Nothing. Now, if you rent a huge conference room that holds 40, you might pay 60, 70, 80 bucks. Depends upon where you are. If you're in San Francisco, 500. You could do business. We have locations to do business. Now, let's keep going. We have, again, enterprise is the back office. It's like a CFO report for CFOs. It tells you how many sales you have, where they are in process. Are they green light to close? Are you going to get paid at close? At eXp, when we use SkySlope, when the file's complete, they check it and they send an email to the attorney that you're closing with. In California, we use title and escrow companies. They send the green light, and when it records, here's your check. You get you paid 60 seconds after recording. I don't know about you, for 20 years, that check went to Remax for 12 and Keller Williams for 8, bobbled around the accounting department and popped out 2, 3, 4 days later, right? I love getting paid at close of escrow, so it's really cool. Let's keep going. Now, how do we make you an owner at eXp? It's pretty simple. We have what they call our monikers EXPI, follow the growth of our stock. It used to be like 20 cents a share and everyone laughed at us. We had like 400 agents. I mean, I don't blame them. And then it was $1 a share, and then it was $2, then $3. A year and a half ago, it was $3.70 a share. And the owner of Northern California, Hawaii, the region, called me, of the company I used to be a part of, and he says, Brent, please don't go, because they're not used to losing their top agents. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna go. I gotta try this eXp thing. I think it's gonna work. If it doesn't, I'll be back in half a year. I literally said, was my big plan. If you're wondering, I'll try it for half a year. What have I got to lose, right? And so he goes, buddy, I Googled it. They offer stock. It's an OTC stock. It's an over-the-counter stock. It's a penny stock. It's worthless. It's garbage. I'm telling you, in 2 years, it'll be worth nothing. And he was passionate. I said, Dick, if the stock goes to zero, what am I? And he goes, well, what do you mean, what are you? I go, if the stock goes to zero, what am I? He's like, I don't understand the question. I said, I'm a Remax agent. I'm a Keller Williams agent. I'm a Century 21 agent. I'm a Better Homes agent. They offer no stock awards. If I stay at my old company, like you're begging me to stay, I'm already at zero. If the eXp thing works, it's just an upside here. Does that make sense to everyone? So here's how it works. Remember I said you're gonna get stock for doing things you're already doing? Well, the first closing of the year, anybody close your first sale this year? You get 50 shares of stock. I've done that for 22 years, except the last 2 years, I got 50 shares on each closing. Not a big deal. Close your first deal, you become a shareholder and agent owner. Now people will see you with eXp and go, hey, what's all that about? Does it really work like that? Look around the room. And so watch this, when people join you, every time they join you and they say, well, why are you at eXp? Well, I'm here because of AJ. Then you get 100 shares of stock. If 10 people join eXp, you get 1,000 shares of stock. What if you told 20 or 30? At Keller Williams, I loved it. I referred over 50 people to Keller Williams in 8 years. And we got some profit sharing. I'm vested. I get about $576 a month after 8 years, and that's great. I'm grateful for it. It is what it is. That's my story. But so here's the deal. You get 100 shares of stock when you cap. We have a cap at eXp. The cap is $16,000 a year. Our split is 80-20. So everybody's not, if you're brand new, you're on an 80-20. If you're a veteran, you're on an 80-20. I'm on an 80-20. If you're brand new here, you're on an 80-20. There's no franchise fee, no 6% fee, okay? So remember that. And when you cap at $16,000 paid in, you go to a 100% commission split. So I cap every year in a year and a half. That's pretty cool. I mean, a month and a half, a year and a half. I cap every year in 5 years. Now, so when you cap, they go, here's another 100 shares of stock in our company, making you a bigger agent owner. And thank you for capping. Now let's keep going. What happens if you cap and do 20 sales? What's your average price in Charlotte? Anybody? $275? Okay, so probably anywhere from 10 to 12 to 14 sales, depends on the price of the home you sell, you're gonna cap around here. Is that a fair statement? I'm doing some quick math in my head. So if you cap and you do like, I do that really quick, because of course I do a lot. It may take you 4, 5, 6 months to do 10, 12, 14 sales. But if you are a producer and you're a guy or a gal who sells 30, 35 homes a year, we have an icon program. Would you agree agents who sell 30 or 35 homes a year or 50 or 100 or 200 or 300 are iconic? People know them. We all agree? So if you cap and do 20 sales, once you go to 100%, there's a $250 flat fee that kicks in for 20. Once you complete 20, two beautiful things happen. One, they get rid of the $250 fees and drop it to 75 bucks. Pretty competitive. Number two, they return your cap to you in the form of stock. You get $16,000 of stock in our company. So I'm like, okay, I cap. Now in Sacramento, it takes me about 8 sales to cap at our price, which is like $350. It's about 8 sales to cap, bam. And then if you do 20 more, that means you're selling about 28 homes a year. In the Bay Area, in San Francisco, I go there, their average price is 1.3 million. Takes 2 sales to cap pretty much in the Bay Area, and then they do 20 more. So if they do 22 sales, so it depends upon your sales prices, how quick you can get the Icon Award. But I saw this like you a year and a half ago. I go, I could do that. And I did it, and last spring I got that $16,000 stock award at about $370 a share. Now, I had a guy say, well, that's the trick. It's just a dumb stock award. You don't know what it'll be worth, and it's true. It may not be worth a lot in the future. We don't know. But here's the deal. He goes, I'd rather have a check. And I know me, if I'd have got that check last spring for 16 grand, I'd have done something really intelligent, like go to Tahiti, right? Buy a hot spring spa, you know, I mean, put it off the master bedroom. I got one down by the pool. I'd probably, or buy my 18-year-old daughter that red Jeep convertible she wants. Bad idea, she's cute, and every guy in town, no. Now, but I probably would have been a sucker and done it and done something really intelligent, but because eXp is responsible and put strings attached, here it is, you can cash it in 3 years, it just sat there. And now it's worth, what's 4 times that? Anybody good? 64,000 plus. So what did I pay to be eXp? Well, not all of us are going to do that. Okay, but you may talk to someone who does. It'll motivate them to join, which will pay you huge revenue share dividends, and we'll talk about that next. Finally, we have our agent equity program, like employee benefits program. And since we're not employees, we're agents, they allow you to use 5% of your commission, up to 5. You can do 2 or 3. And to purchase stock at a 20% discount. I hardly noticed it. Bought stock all year last year, and I purchased $46,000 worth of stock. And now it's, you know, that's where it's gone really well, to say the least. Now, we're going to conclude with this. We're going to talk about revenue share, the 4th pillar. And this is why the room is packed. If you personally tell someone about eXp and they join the company, here's the $16,000 cap, there it is. They break it up into bite-sized rewards, and they share it with the agents. The first reward is $2,800. So $16,000 gets paid to the company, and if you told them and they cap, you get $2,800. Is that good or bad? Is that a little bit? What if you told 10 people about eXp? Could you? I mean, here's what I did. For 20 years, I acquired buyers and sellers and built a team. Acquired buyers and sellers and built a team. Acquired buyers and sellers and built a team. Rinse, wash, and repeat. And in 2005, I earned $3.8 million and became the #1 RE/MAX agent in California out of 10,000. But it ain't 2005 anymore, and I don't make $3.8 million anymore, right? You only paid for the homes you sell this year. That's great. You set records last year. You better work. You heard Bill. You better go kill yourself to sell 65. Well, I don't sell 65. I just sell 25 or 20 or 30. Okay, good. It doesn't really matter. But watch this. You have to do it. My parents retired from real estate as top Coldwell Banker agents. 35 years at one company. They retired at 77 and 79. They paid off their homes, they paid off their rentals, they did it all right, they're in good shape, Social Security, but they worked their whole life. Let me show you a way to do something amazing. If you told 10 people about eXp and they cap, which means they sell 10, 12, 14 homes a year, you get $2,800 an agent times 10, which is how much? $28,000 a year outside of sales. If you saved it, and that's all you did 10 years from now, and you put that in the bank every year, because you get it every year they're with the company, and if they stay with the company, they're getting stock awards and reasons to stay with the company, you'd have $280,000 in the bank. Not a bad deal. If Coldwell Banker had this program, which they don't, but my dad remembers the guy who said, hey, Jim, Jim Gove, my dad, you should check out Coldwell Banker. And 35 years, he retired 3 years ago. 38 years ago, he went to Coldwell Banker in Sacramento in a suburb called Fair Oaks, interviewed with the manager, joined the company, and didn't leave, stayed 35 years. Is Long and Foster down here? You know people been there 10, 15, 20 years? 30 years, RE/MAX. People stay at companies. So had Coldwell Banker had this program, the guy who told my dad about Coldwell Banker 38 years ago, for 35 years, because my dad did, they were top 3 or 4 in the office out of 70, 80 agents at the Coldwell Banker office. That guy would have gotten $2,800 a year for 35 years. It's like selling a house and getting paid for years and years and years, but they got to stay with the company. We had 1,400 agents a year and a half ago. I go, this is going to work. Today we have over 10,000. Question for you. If 1,400 agents can become 10,000 in a year and a half, what are 10,000 agents going to do in the next year and a half? I personally think we'll have about 30 to 40,000 agents. Here's the deal. Why is this a big deal? There are 206 countries worldwide. There are 25 million agents and brokers worldwide. There will be 2 million eXp agents worldwide. It may take us 10 or 15 years to get there, but Coldwell Banker got there, RE/MAX got there, and they're selling franchises, and people are signing leases and spending 50 to 100. They did it. We just call someone in France. We just call someone in Mexico City or Cancun. We call a friend in Australia or in Manila. I have agents in the Bay Area who are licensed in Manila. And we just, boom, we're there because we're cloud-based. This is how Amazon put Macy's out of business. Macy's closed 250 stores this year, along with JCPenney and Sears, those 3 big. Borders, I love Borders books, gone. Barnes & Nobles can't get the books out of their showroom onto the show floor right now. 10,000 travel agents, gone. Technology is coming, man. Don't think of Charlotte. Think of the world. The world is your oyster. You know people in other cities. How does that work? I knew a guy named Cliff Freeman, a real estate coach in Dallas. One of his students was AJ, right here. AJ and Abby. And he called AJ, said, hey, AJ, you got to check out this eXp thing. AJ calls Shelly and Craig, which I don't know where they are. Shelly and Craig. And he goes, hey, you ought to check out this eXp thing. And they called Bill Price, who called Rich Tomasini. And does it really work like that? Oh, yeah. I signed up 60 people. I enrolled 60 people because I was super excited about it. I got tons of stock, 34,000 shares. I got $500,000 sitting there in that little baby, not counting what I earned in revenue share. And guess what? They told people who told people. I remember thinking my first year, if I have 100 agents, man, that'd be pretty cool. So here's how it works. If you tell 5 agents, they unlock level 2 revenue sharing. This is how Keller Williams has paid their agents profit share for 30 years, 25 to 30 years. We copied their distribution system. It's not patented. And we use it to distribute revenue. Every agent on level 2 is worth $3,200 a year. Every agent on level 3 is worth $2,000 a year. But you have to refer 10 agents to eXp. Now they're all turning in sales, creating revenue to be shared at eXp. Level 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then it goes in increments of 5 agents. When you get to 25 agents who you've referred, you get paid on all 6 levels of revenue sharing. You get to over 40, you get $4,000 per agent. I referred over 40 in 8 months. My 8th month, I think I sold enough homes personally. After my expenses, I netted $160,000. That was not normal for me. In fact, it was my best month ever in real estate. It didn't happen at RE/MAX, and I loved RE/MAX. It didn't happen at Keller Williams, and I loved Keller Williams. It happened at eXp, a company nobody had ever heard of. The consumers, well, what about the brand? It's you, baby. It's not the brand. If you're worried about the brand, you get go read a Dale Carnegie book or something, or some Tony Robbins, okay? My gosh, I need the brand. You do not need the brand, okay? So, and I smashed all my sales records. I personally closed 4 deals last month, which isn't a lot. Put a few listings in the last couple of weeks. Is all you do? No, I'm doing real estate. I'm a real estate agent. But here's the deal. For 20 years, I acquired buyers. And about 3 years ago, I quit working with buyers altogether. I got all those buyers agents. I just said, I'm done working with buyers, man. They're like, do you sell up in Washington, D.C.? You know? What's like 5 hours from here? I got lucky. You know? And you're like, well, yeah, I could, but no, I would sell here in Charlotte, right? And the buyers will run you all over, take you from Little League soccer. So I'm like, done. I leveraged to give it all to my agents. And then I acquired listings and I built my team, but I just finally did a fourth thing. I started building a company. 100 years ago, there were agents like this in America. And we only know 2 of them today, because all of them work with buyers, work with sellers, but only 2 did something unique. They built a company. You all know them. Every one of you know them. One guy's last name was Coldwell. The other one was Banker. And not that you want to be known 100 years from now, but you need to think about the treadmill, like the Jetsons. You know, it gets going too quick and it's vroom, vroom, vroom. That's like what he got emotional, because have you ever left soccer practice? Have you ever left Little League? Have you ever been on the phone during the soccer game the whole time? And don't tell me you haven't, because you're lying your face off, okay? And then you have that come to Jesus moment with yourself. You take the phone, you throw it in the glove box and go, I gotta be present for my kids. They're not gonna grow up without me. And so guess what, man? My life has changed a lot. These guys, Bill gets emotional if you do the work. So watch this. So here's just one little analogy of what could happen. If you tell 10 people and they cap, you get 28,000. What if you told 20 and they cap? That'd be 56,000 a year outside of sales. Okay, would that do anything towards your retirement? What if you just told 10 who cap and you get that 28, but then one of those 10 goes out and does what you did, tells 10. Those 10 would not be on your level 1, they'd be on level 2. Every agent on level 2 is worth $3,200 a year revenue share from eXp to you. So if they have 10 who cap, what do you get a year for those agents on level 2? Anybody? 32,000, right? Simple math. What if 3 of your 10 did that? So that'd be like 32, 32, and 32. It'd be like 96,000 a year. Plus your 28. Now you're at 128,000 a year. Well, does that work? I told 60, not 10. Well, you're special. No, I went and did the work. Well, yeah, but you're an extremely good dresser. I know. You all can't be a good dresser, okay? I understand that. You're not flashy like me. You don't look as good as I look. I get that. Well, you're extremely good looking, right? I mean, obviously people are like, oh, he's so good looking. And I realize some of you have some uphill obstacles, okay? And I'm sorry you're not as beautiful as I am. Now, but the thing is, I picked up the phone. Someone says, do you have a CRM or what is it, a contact management CMS? I don't even know what to call it. Yes, I have a yellow notepad. That's what I have. Do you use Facebook? Or no, I pick up the phone. What's your name? Abby? Abby. That's a cool name. Abby? Where are you from? Right here? Right. Abby. That's like Australia or something. Hey, Abby. How you doing? So I call Abby. How are you? Hey, good. You busy? You chat for a minute. Go, hey, have you heard of eXp yet? No, what's that? You share it with them, and it just takes off. So what's my story? I'll tell you my story, and we'll wrap it up. I thought I could see doing some of those, and then they tell some, and it's pretty cool. And then you get to 40, and you get paid on all those levels. If you had 20 agents on level 7, and half of them cap 10 times 4,000 an agent is how much? 40,000 a year, just from that level, not counting these different levels. This is how Keller Williams pays their agents, but they do profit sharing, okay? They're a real estate company that shares profits. eXp is a real estate company that shares revenue. That is the big difference. So for me, I thought, I'm gonna try this. And I got in October 21st, 2016, and signed up, I think, 12 agents in 2 weeks, and they turned in some sales. I got my first revenue share check. I used to be a team leader. Like, here, my first check was $3.87 or $12 or $80. My first check as a revenue share check was $1,900. Okay, but I was only there 10 days. Next month in November, I'm there all month. We turn in sales. We tell some more agents. My next check was $5,000. And that story doesn't exist at a lot of places. It exists here. It's normal here. And then the next month in December, we told more agents, turned in more sales, and my next check was $10,000. My third month, I started earning $10,000 a month revenue share. Is that going to change anyone's life? So I told my wife, I said, honey, this eXp thing's crazy. It keeps doubling every month. I think we're going to make $20,000 next month outside of real estate sales, okay? And she goes, okay. Well, the month came and I made $10,000. I remember being disappointed that my fourth month at eXp, I only made $10,000. And I'm like, geez, what's the deal? Do you know why that happened? I have no idea either. Now, I'm like, wow, okay, I got carried away with this doubling thing. But I'm telling you, everyone's so excited. And I go, I think next month it'll be 15, which is crazy. Growing 50% in a month, not a year. 50% in a year is phenomenal. 50% in a month. And the next month, I said, you watch, babe, 15. It wasn't. It was $25,000. My 5th month, I earned 20. I've never made less than 25. Let's just say it's a lot more now, okay? That was a long time ago. To give you an example of how it grows people-wise, in my first year I had 18 agents. I thought, well, I'll tell 10 or 15, maybe 20, and hopefully at the end of the year I have 100. And hopefully that'll make me about 100,000 a year revenue share. And if it goes really well, I'll have 200 or 300. Well, 13 months later we hit 1,000, which was last December. And wow, that's all I can say. I've never tripled my big goals. I don't hit my big goals. I tripled my big goals. So today is May what? 16th. 2 days ago, we hit 2,000 plus agents. It took us 13 months to get to 1,000. And that's for eXp, not me. Not me. You guys have never seen me before, right? They talk about me, I'm like the Easter bunny, you know? He's really good looking and he dresses good. Now, wait till you meet him. So concluding with this, here is it's international collaboration. I have agents in Alaska, Honolulu, Hawaii, Maui, throughout Canada, 40 states, 200 major markets. If I was at my old company and I say, yeah, I've got an expansion team, we're in 200 major markets in 40 states, I would be the #1 guy at that company. Craig, you guys, how much do you guys do in sales a year, roughly? 78, roughly 78.3 million. You know, I mean, 65 sales a year. What did you see in this was an opportunity to not have to work so hard? You've been at this for how many years, Bill?
13.
13 years. Rich, how about you? How many years?
12.
You're a baby. 12 years. You know what? All the person sitting next to you wants to do is help you. We are linking arms and we're taking advantage of relationship capital. You have friends around the country, you pay no attention to them. Join the company, everyone's talking about trends, the Amazon of real estate. Wave, eXp Realty named the best place to work by Glassdoor 2018. Market Watch, eXp accelerates already significant growth throughout North America. There's our growth. This is 10,000 agents. Here was us in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And in a year and a half, you're gonna watch this go to at least 30,000 plus. So there's 10, there's 20, there's 30. I mean, it's gonna be amazing. And we're not gonna open an office. We're not gonna open an office. We're not gonna hire any secretaries to work the front door. We're not gonna hire any phone systems, copier systems, janitorial systems, heating and air conditioning, insurance, TIs, remodeling, team leaders, OPs. All those costs won't exist. We share the money with you, the revenue with you. Final slide, we're done. Here it is. What's your next step? Become an agent owner with eXp. Talk to your sponsor, that's the person who brought you here, and ask more questions. Do your due diligence. I will tell you this, as a Keller Williams agent, I sent this out 8 times. I sent it to friends I cared about around the country and said, stop me from jumping off a cliff, because I'm leaving a company I love. I'm passionate about Keller Williams. I was never gonna leave it. I was actually pretty doggone irritated at this eXp thing because I never thought I would leave Keller. And I sent it to 8 people. I said, I need you to evaluate this and tell me why I shouldn't leave the company that I love. I didn't like it. And they said, okay, buddy, calm down, we'll do it. 6 of the 8 signed up immediately, left Coldwell Banker, left Remax, sold franchises, left Keller Williams, 6 of the 8. The 7th one had just merged with another company. He's like, can't I just merge my 50 agents with a huge company in Phoenix? He joined me 2 months ago, now it's 120 agents in 2 months. And the 8th one was a Keller Williams team leader who moved out of his office this week, and it took 18 months. He finally came because when he just couldn't believe what was happening, and his first official day with eXp was yesterday. He's a famous trainer for my old company at the highest possible levels you can have, and he's now at eXp. We are seeing this from Better Homes, from Century 21, from Coldwell Banker, from all Berkshire Hathaway. It's all happening. It's been great being with you. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.